welcome to the programme. A student from Sheffield, left paralysed from the chest down after a car crash, is set to receive millions of pounds after being awarded lifelong care costs.
Rosie Mays was injured just before Christmas 2 years ago when she was a passenger in a car that overturned. Now, despite suffering catastrophic injuries, she's fought back and has started her studies again. And now she's won a legal battle to ensure that she's looked after for the rest of her life. Look North's Jo Inwood has been to meet her.
They told me that I would be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, and it wasn't until then that I really understood the full extent of what had happened to me.
She'd been the passenger in a car driven by her then boyfriend when it crashed into an embankment and overturned. It cost Rosie 10 months in hospital and almost all movement below the chest.
I can't do anything on my own. I always need help and assistance, and I think it's affected my life and my family and friends' life.
Ever since the car she was in hit that verge over there, Rosie has needed care 24 hours a day, and that does not come cheap. Now, at first, the insurance of the driver, they were covering the costs. But then, 7 months ago, they changed their mind and said it wasn't the driver's fault. And that is how I ended up in court.
The decision by the insurance company to contest liability back in July was really a body blow for all of us. And on top of everything Rosie's had to go through, to add the uncertainty and the stress that this has caused us all, really, I think was completely outrageous.
And the judge agreed. The final figure is yet to be decided, but solicitors Erwin Mitchell estimate she could get an 8-figure settlement, enough to allow Rosie some security and freedom.
As far as in the future is concerned, I'm not sure what career I want to do, but there's a lot of things that now, since I've had this injury, there's a lot of things that I feel like I want to change.
For Rosie, no amount of money can give her back the life she once had, but it can make the one she now has just that little bit easier. Jo Inwood, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Jo, thank you. Well, I'm joined now by Neil Whiteley, Rosie's solicitor. Look, this seems an incredible amount of money. Why is it so high?
Well, Harry, as we've just heard, Rosie had a life-changing injury, and really with the compensation, what we can now try and do is restore some quality of life. Her care needs are going to be substantial and they will cost. She will need adapted housing, she will need aids and equipment, and most of all she'll need support with rehabilitation just to try and get her able to do as much as she possibly can, and the compensation will enable her to do that. So it's vitally important for Rosie that she's secured this victory.
We don't know what figure we're talking about yet, but it clearly is going to be millions. Why did she actually have to go through a court case in the first place?
Well, it's a great shame, and the judge was emphatic in the judgment that the insurance company should really have accepted fault. The driver was found to blame, and you know, the great shame here is that the first few months after an injury as severe as this are the most important to focus on rehabilitation, and unfortunately Rosie had to go through a court battle that she really could have done without. So it is a great shame, and we wish that, you know, that we'd just cut to the chase 2 years ago and enabled her to move on with everything else.
Is this the end of it, or is there likely to be an appeal about the figure that will be decided in the next few days or so?
Well, there's no suggestion of the insurance company appealing the actual decision of the court, but we know from our own experience for representing seriously injured people like Rosie that these unfortunately these disputes do go on, in the sense that insurance companies do make claimants fight for every penny and really prove their case. And that's a battle that we are willing to fight, but hopefully we will get the right result for Rosie at the end of the day. I'm sure that we will.
Neil Whiteley, thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening.